YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Sports Culture, and I'm back with another video here today. And in this video, it's going to be my second mock draft for the Green Bay Packers for the 2025 NFL Draft class. It's officially Combine Week, and today is Monday, so I felt like today was the best day to make this video. It's going to be a 5-round mock draft, but I will include trades in this one. I've done my fair amount of film watching and just research on a good amount of prospects in this year's draft class, especially ones that I think the Packers will target all the way up until like the 5th round. But I just haven't done, a deep enough dive all the way to the 6th and 7th round to feel like comfortable talking about those prospects that are in the later rounds. So once I do that, I would definitely make a 7-round mock draft. But for now, it's going to be a 5-round mock draft with trades. It shouldn't be that long. But without further ado, man, let's get right into this. If you want to see more mock drafts for the Packers or just draft and tell videos for the Packers or just any team in general, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to be making a lot of videos per week and just a lot of YouTube shorts in general. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. But without further ado, let's get right into this. So here we are at pick 23, the first pick for the Packers for this mock draft. And there's a lot of great prospects on the board. But I think with this pick, I'm actually going to trade back. I really do like the idea of the Packers trading back in real life. Either even out of the first round or just to like pick 30, pick 31, or pick 32. Picking up some more draft picks in this year's draft class. And then selecting somebody a little bit later in this first round. I think there's a lot of great players that could go from the end of the first round to the end of the third round. Like a lot of great players that have a lot of high ceilings, whether that's at cornerback, edge, or the interior D-line, or even wide receivers. So that's going to be my play right here. I'm going to look for a team to trade with, and then I'll get back to you guys once I make that trade. So here we are at pick 30. We did make a trade with the Buffalo Bills. We traded away pick 23, pick 87 in the third round for pick 30, pick 62 in the second round, and pick 131 in the fourth round. So really not a bad trade in my opinion. And with this pick, we could go with many different options. We could go with Jalen Barron at the cornerback position. We could go with Nick Scorton at the edge position. We could go with Matthew Golden at the wide receiver position. I'm a huge fan of Matthew Golden's game. But with this pick, I am going to go with Jalen Barron. I'm a huge fan of Nick Scorton and Matthew Golden, but I did pick Nick Scorton in my last mock draft. And I do kind of like to switch it up here and there. So with this pick, we are going Jalen Barron. And he is my personal pick for the Green Bay Packers at the cornerback position in this year's draft class. We didn't expect to play this much zone coverage this year with Jeff Hafley as the defensive coordinator. And maybe Jair being hurt was the reason we didn't. But we played a lot of zone coverage. And Jalen Barron is one of the better cornerbacks in this year's draft class at zone coverage. He's very instinctive. Has some of the better ball skills. Won the Jim Thorpe Award this year at the outside cornerback position. And I know there's a lot of questions about what he profiles as what he profiles more as at the next level, whether that's a safety, whether that's a nickel cornerback, whether that's on the outside at the outside cornerback position. And I think he, profiles, as all three. It really doesn't matter where you put him, in my personal opinion. I think he's gonna ball out at any position. But this year won the Jim Thorpe Award at the outside cornerback position. I feel like if the Packers selected Jalen Barron in the first round, that's what he'd be playing for the Green Bay Packers, is the outside cornerback position. So with this pick, we are going Jalen Barron. Very good in zone coverage, very instinctive, has some really good ball skills, high energy, very physical, likes to come downhill and make tackles. Wouldn't say he's the best tackler per se at the cornerback position, but he's not afraid to come downhill and make some tackles. So with this pick, we are going Jalen Barron to get us a legit cornerback 1, or cornerback 2, depending if we keep Jair Alexander or if we don't keep Jair Alexander. So with this pick, we are going Jalen Barron. So here we are at pick 54, and I'm going to be honest, if I knew Azariah Thomas would fall to us at pick 54, I probably wouldn't have selected or drafted, Jalen Barron. But it is what it is. We can't go in the past. Azariah Thomas is a huge physical, good press man cornerback that I'm a huge fan of. And I would draft this guy in the first round if I was the GM. Just my personal opinion. I think the guy's that good. But with this pick, there's multiple positions we could go with. Multiple different guys on the board I really do like a lot. Prince Le-on-maneli, really good pass rusher. I don't think his ceiling is super high. His athleticism is not something too crazy. Doesn't really explode off the ball super crazy. But the dude is very good at getting wide. He has some really good bend. Has some really good twitch. Has some insane body control as a pass rusher. Reminds me a lot like Zadarius Smith, everybody's favorite former Green Bay Packer. So, as a pass rusher, I think he's a very solid one. I was watching film on Ivy, his teammate, the other edge rusher, And I mean, I was trying to watch film on him, but Princely Le-on-maneli was the only one really flashing from that tape. So I mean, that says a lot. Him and Walter Nolan, obviously, but that says a lot. I think as a pass rusher, he's very, very solid. I think he gives you a lot of upside. I don't think his ceiling is like super, super high because his athleticism is kind of limited in my opinion. But his run defense, I'd like to see him get way better at. I think he's abysmal when it comes to run support. But besides that, as a pass rusher, which we need, I think this guy has it. I think he offers a ton of versatility. I think he's better right now pass rushing just out of a 2-point stance, without his hand in the dirt. But I do think he can, pass rush with his hand in the dirt. I just think he'd be a little bit slower at that. But he's a very good player. I'm leaning towards him right here. The other pick is Le-on-maneli, the wide receiver from Stanford. Very, very big physical wide receiver, 6'2". And when I watched this guy's tape, man, I was blown away by how fluid of a mover he is for his size. I thought he was going to be this big body physical wide receiver that you just put the ball in his area, he's going to come down with the ball, and he does that. I mean, he could do that, but I was just surprised of, his high level IQ when it came to route running. He knows how to break. He knows how to use leverage. He has a very, very, fluid and, fast, release package. And one thing I really do like a lot about him, man, yes, he's 6'2", but, man, he knows how to use leverage and use his body, stack DBs on the sideline, and just make that catch. He's also very good after the catch as well. When he has that ball in his hand, man, I mean, it looks like he has a place to go and no one's stopping him. So it really comes down to these two prospects right here. But I think at the end of the day, I am going to go with Princely Le-on-maneli. And I think for this pick right here, pick 54, I think this is a very, very good pick. The dude is a very high-level pass rusher. You'd like to see him definitely get better at run support, but he could definitely grow in terms of that. So with this pick, we are going to go with Princely Le-on-maneli, and very, very good pass rusher. I prefer him way more than his teammate Ivy, also from Ole Miss. So with this pick, we are going with Princely Le-on-maneli. So here we are at pick 62, and with this pick, I am going to go with the wide receiver. I was thinking about going with the interior defensive line, but I could definitely get one of those guys that I really do like a lot, I think, at pick 123. So with this pick, I am going to go with wide receiver. Jack Betch is on the board, converted tight end to wide receiver. Very solid prospect, big physical guy at 6'2". Just put the ball in his area. He comes down with it. You got guys like Jalen Higgins, who I'm a huge fan of as well. 6'4", offers you versatility inside and out because of his route running ability. Has some very fast and quick feet. His route running nuisance is just very high level for a guy his size. Has a great catch radius. Really strong hands. Yeah, yards after catch ability, not really there so much. And I think his speed at the next level really wouldn't really consider him like a deep threat per se. But I think around like the short to like medium like routes, especially inside like the middle of the field when he has to break in, I think that's gonna be what he's gonna be best at the next level. But with this pick, I am gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna go with the Le-on-maneli. I'm surprised he's still on the board. The dude is 6'2", 217, and I really start to rewatch and watch more of his film from 2023. And I'm really just blown away by how fluid of a mover he is. He has some very quick and nimble feet. Has some very solid releases off the line of scrimmage, but one thing I was just blown away by is how fluid and how smart he is as a route runner. He knows when, he knows when to sit in zone coverage and make himself available for the quarterback. He knows how to stack cornerbacks when it comes to, stacking them on the outside and using his big body. He's very solid on in-breaking routes. I was just blown away by how fluid of a mover he is. And yards after catch ability-wise, he's maybe not the most agile guy. He's not going to make all these guys miss in the world, but he has the yards after catch ability. I mean, when he runs the football, when he has the ball in his hands, he's very, very violent. He runs the football like he has a place to get, a place to go, and no one's going to stop him. And I like the way he runs the football when he has it in his hands. I think he can run almost every route in the route tree. Like I said, I mean, there's a lot to like about him. He's only 21 years old, 6'2", 217. I like to see him maybe catch with his hands a little bit more. I feel for for a guy his size at 6'2", his athleticism that he has, he could jump out of the gym. He could definitely do that. He has some very strong hands, but I feel like sometimes when I watch him on film, he catches the ball with his body way too much for my liking. So maybe at the next level they can fix that. But besides that, I think there's a ton to like in terms of potential and a high ceiling and a Le-on-maneli. So with this pick, we are going with the Le-on-maneli, the wide receiver from Stanford. I feel like this is 3 A+ picks in this mock draft already. So with this pick, we are going to Le-on-maneli from Stanford. So here we are at 123, and there is a lot of interior defensive linemen I could get later on that I really do like a lot, that offer a lot of interior pass rushing ability. So I am going to hold off on the interior defensive lineman position. With this pick, I am going to go with Chris Paul Jr. This is somebody the Packers have talked to already before, or have had a meeting with, I should say. And I don't think this guy's getting enough buzz, man. I mean, there's a legit argument to make that he's linebacker too in this year's draft class. I mean, the dude is very, very athletic. When I was watching film on Walter Nolan and Le-on-maneli, I had to find out who number 11 was, because I mean the dude was flying all over the football field. He was meeting running backs in the gap almost every play. Has some really good tackling technique. Plays really, really low. In terms of coverage abilities, I think he could definitely get better. But I liked what I seen. I mean, he's fairly athletic. Could get to sideline fairly well. But when it comes to pass coverage abilities, I mean, I thought his instincts for a linebacker were really good. I mean, he had some really good pass breakups when I watched him on film. But the one thing that just really blew me away when I was watching him was his ability to tackle guys. I was watching Walter Nolan, and he was taking on double teams. He was leaving the gap open for his linebackers to fill in like his job is, or like he should do. And all I seen was number 11 come through and lay the hammer on multiple guys, meeting them in the hole. Playing the lower man game and just simply tackling them. So with this pick, we are going Chris Paul Jr. I don't think you could have enough good linebackers, and to have three good guys like Chris Paul Jr., Adrian Cooper, who's a stud, and Quay Walker, who I think is definitely getting better and better. He was definitely on a heater before he got the injury this year, but if you could have three guys that are very athletic, athletic monsters, have great size, have a great frame for the linebacker position, offer you versatility, and can play in the coverage and can play good coverage, I think that's a win. So with this pick, we are going Chris Paul Jr. just to get more depth in that linebacker room. And I think this is somebody who has a legit case to be the second best linebacker in this year's draft class. So here we are, pick 131, and I think with this pick, I am going to go with interior defensive lineman. And could definitely go with Ty Robinson, the interior defensive lineman for Nebraska. He's very, very solid. Big body interior defensive lineman. Very, very athletic as well. Has a really good swim move. But I think with this pick, I'm going to go with the Peebles. I really did like his tape a lot. I think he's fairly underrated in this year's draft class. High motor, very athletic, has a quick first step off the defensive line, or off the line I should say. Has very violent and precise hand placement. Offers you a great bull rush and offers you some speed moves as well. Has a very good spin move. Has a very solid rip move and swim move. So I think there's a lot to like about him. I think in terms of run defense, he's solid. I like to see him do a little bit better. I think he does get stood up at times, but he just offers you a high motor, a dog mentality in the trenches, and someone that could really get after the quarterback in terms of pass rushing. I was blown away by his athleticism and his quick first step when I was watching the film. So with this pick, we are going to go with the Peebles. It is a little bit of a reach per se, but I enjoyed this film a lot, enough to go with this pick. So with this pick, we are going with the Peebles over guys like Ty Robinson. So here we are with our last pick at 160 for this mock draft. And with this pick, we're just going to get more offensive line depth. And with this pick, we're going Charles Graham from William & Mary. I like this tape. I thought it was fairly solid. He's a big, athletic, tackle or offensive guard, whatever you want to put him at the next level. Is very, very athletic. Once you get him in space, he can get to the third and second level very, very easily. I thought his best abilities was his pass blocking abilities. He has very quick feet. Almost every time when I was watching him, every snap when it came to pass blocking was always getting to his anchor very, very fast, getting his hands on guys, just being very, very powerful. I would say, at times when it came to, run support, I mean, not run support, but just run blocking, I meant, he did play a little bit light, but besides that, I like his athleticism. Does have some upside. So with this pick, we are going to select Charles Grant from William & Mary just to round out and get more depth on the offensive line position and just, be the final pick for this mock draft. So here are the grades that I was given for my picks or my mock draft for the Green Bay Packers, my 5-round mock draft. Jahdae Barron pick was the A+. Prince Le-on-maneli pick was the A+. Alik Manor pick was an A+. I feel like he's a very fluid mover and has a ton of potential. 6'2", 217. Gives you some yak ability as well. Chris Paul Jr. pick was an A. Dude can do it all in terms of run defense and pass coverage and liability. Very, very good run defender. Peebles, I like his ability as a pass rusher from the interior. They gave us a B for that. Has a high motor. And then Charles Graham, we got an A+ for that. He has a very lean base very lean frame for the offensive tackle position. Very, very athletic. They give us an A+ for that. I feel like that's a very good pick as well. So let me know what you guys think about this draft in the comments. I feel like, in my personal opinion, this is a very, very good draft. I feel like I did a home run hit with this draft right here. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's been your boy Sports Culture. I'm out.